Online schooling. Online school has been around for a good minute. Ever since the first year that there were being registered online classes in 1989, it has only grown to become one of the most popular ways of learning. These days you have so many options. You can either go online, in person, or even hybrid. Especially after the coronavirus pandemic of 2020, online school has become even more popular, with some people choosing to go completely on it, or some doing 50-50 as some in person, some not. I can relate to doing online schooling as actually was one of my preferred options, even when during COVID and through my first few years of college. I've used it personally, and I think it's helped greatly with giving you a lot of options. So today, I'm going to persuade you on why I think online schooling is the better choice. I am credible to talk about this as I've done extensive research from my last speech and this speech, and also how I can also relate since I have done online schooling myself. I'm going to talk about 4 main points. Those are going to be flexibility, the more options, cheaper cost, and less stress. So let's get to my first point, flexibility. We're all busy people. A lot of us do not have as much free time as we used to, especially as we get older. We're trying to learn how to adult, balance work, home, and schools cannot help with that. At universities, usually you have to have your set amount of classes. You might have a 9 a.m. class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a 2 p.m. class Tuesdays, Thursdays, etc. With online classes, you don't have to be there at a specific time. Now, some teachers might, make sure you have your work turned in every single Wednesday. For instance, my speech class is due every Saturday by 5 o'clock. But majority of it, you get your work, at the beginning of the week, and it's due at the end of the month or after so many days. So you don't feel like you're stuck as much, having to have everything turned. Ms. Anaya Shaniqua did a great article about the benefits of online learning and how she talked about, you can live in a rural area or a city area. You have a lot more flexibility of where you want to do your homework at, I don't have to be right at Angelo. I can do my homework at a Starbucks. I can do my homework in a dorm, and I can do it whenever I want to. So I can still have time to spend time with, my family and friends and still work and adult. My second point is going to be the develop more educational options. Depending where you live at, you might only have 1 or 2 universities around us. If you're in DFW, you have a few options, or maybe in the Houston area. But usually, where you're at, you might have one option. For instance, in West Texas, you really only have a few options. You either have West Texas A&M, Texas Tech, or San Angelo, or Angelo State, I should say. And that's about it. But some people don't want to go to Angelo State who live in San Angelo. But also, they don't want to relocate out, maybe for family reasons or cost reasons. So that means you can go to online classes anywhere. I can choose to stay in San Angelo and go to Texas Tech online, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have to relocate out there. Some universities have degrees that others don't. Like I said, for instance, Texas Tech might offer a program that Angelo State doesn't offer here. So I can do it online there and still get those classes that I need. An example of that could be that my mother, she lives back home as a full-time nurse and wanted to get her doctorate in nursing after being a nurse for so many years. But also, since most of it's just online stuff, she did not want to, have to travel somewhere and have to relearn. So she was able to do that online and eventually get her doctorate just through West Texas A&M while staying in DFW and raising us. So this again gives you a lot more of an options of where you want to attend. You can attend anywhere you want to across the USA. And even some universities have gone completely fully online. Now, my third point is going to be the cost. Adulting is really expensive, like ridiculously expensive and stressful. Universities help play a factor into that. College is very expensive. I can relate, as me and my other classmates are as flight students, we're forking over $30,000, $40,000 a semester right now. And even non-aviation students are still forking over $10,000, $15,000 just for simply online classes when you factor in tuition and fees. At online schooling, it's a lot cheaper. There's been studies that have shown, for instance, the Educational Data Institute did a wonderful piece a few years ago about the cost of online learning versus traditional, on how one degree was $54,000 online, which is still astronomical. And it did not clarify which degree it was, but I'm very curious. In person, that degree costed $85,000. That's almost a $20,000 difference. A lot of these are due to your medical fees, your dorm fees, eating on campus or whatnot. So if you do it online, you can save a lot of money. You're not having to drive back and forth, spending a lot of gas. You're not having to, pay for an apartment here or pay for dorms on campus. So it just gives you, again, a lot of the less cost. So you can try to save some money, so you can spend it elsewhere. My fourth and last point is going to be stress. Universities are very stressful. Whatever degree you choose, college is a very, very stressful time. And that can take a toll on some students. I've seen it myself from my friends, I've seen it from other majors. Everybody's really stressed out at the end of the day. In 2018, the Harvard Medical School did a very sad piece talking about how in college, 1 out of every 5 students was suicidal, which is absolutely terrible, and I feel so bad for all those involved. And a lot of these related to stress was because of school, having to have stuff turned in on time, having to factor in, I have 20 assignments due and I only have like 5 hours to get them done. On online schooling, it has been shown that it helps lessen your stress. You're not having to worry about, making it to class on time. You usually have a lot more time to do your assignments. I will give an example. My friend group of 3 of us, well, 4 of us I should say, do have online classes and have done them in the past. All 3 of them have reported that their classes they're doing online, they're a lot less stressed in. They don't feel like they're having to, rush everything. They can get a better education. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be stressed out while you're in college. So having said that, all this info, I like to reevaluate my points that I was talking about. Those being flexibility, more options, it being cheaper, and being less stress. Online schooling at the end of the day is going to be up to everybody, but for me, and I think others, I would say it is the better option to do. If you want a more laid back, more fun experience, and you can still have a lot more time to adult and free, then online schooling is for you. And I'm really hoping I was able to persuade you on why online schooling, again, is the superior option. I hope this makes you consider about doing it in the future.